morning, Jasper Elementary. I'm Kason.
And I'm Caleb.
Today is Friday, October 13th, 2023, and this is JES News.
Here at Jasper Elementary, we strive for excellence because we're going to be the best that we can be. Embrace a leader within. Who's a leader? I'm a leader! Foster social emotional learning. This means we will self-regulate and have empathy for others and celebrate diversity. This means we're all unique.
Habit. This week we're going to be talking about habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. This weekend, try and imagine yourself completing the goal you are making. Visualizing helps stay focused and motivated. You can create mental images or even a vision board to represent your goals.
Today's hot entree is chicken and waffle stacker. Today's cold entree is sun butter and jelly. Today, the side is baked beans.
Today's birthdays are Lily A. in Miss Practical's class, Eric F. in Miss Bundy's class.
Weekend birthdays and fall break birthdays are Garrett W. in Mrs. Gatledge's class, Dylan B. in Mrs. Blessinger's class, Nolan E. in Mrs. Mundy's class, Cassidy H. in Mrs. Yarborough's class, Jacqueline M. in Mrs. Beecher's class, Renner R. in Mrs. Nowatarski's class,
Brian L. in Miss Gatledge's class, Riker F. in Miss Kunkel's class, Presley L. in Mr. Muller's class, Annika B. in Miss Shepard's class, Nova G. in Miss Mundy's class.
Eric P. in Mrs. Busey's class, Garrett V. in Mrs. Beekland's class, Riley S. in Miss Shepard's class, Mackenzie B. in Mrs. John's class, and Joseph J. in Mrs. Donato's class.
Harper S. in Miss Practical's class, Adriel C. in Miss Daniel's class, Lucas L. in Miss Jasper's class, Paisley C. in Miss John's class, Kason U. in Miss Hassenauer's class,
Reese S. in Mrs. Sanders' class, Maddox W. in Mrs. Corbin's class, Noah H. in Mrs. Hurt's class, and Mrs. Corbin, Lainey H. from Mrs. Small's class,
Amanda M. from Miss Kunkel's class, Jace L. from Miss Breslin's class, Mr. Ernie, Dylan A. from Miss Butel's class. Happy birthday!
It's time for Funny Friday. What's a monster's favorite carnival ride?
What?
The scary-go-round.
What do Italians eat on the Friday 13th? Fettuccine Alfredo.
Let's go to the mystery guest for the pledge.
Good morning. I am Mrs. John and I teach first grade. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks for doing the pledge today. That's it for today. See you after fall break. Bye.